Today we are talking about how my client is getting 15 to 20 new clients from his email list every month without sales calls, and I'm going to talk you through exactly how we do that, what the setup is, the kind of emails that we send, the campaign structure, how we enroll new clients without sales calls, and yeah, it's going to be very relevant to you, I think, if you have a coaching, training or education business and you'd like to sign more clients from your email list without getting on the phone, without clogging up your calendar with all these Zoom or Teams meetings. Who wants to do Teams meetings? Honestly, nobody. It's going to be really fucking cool, so let's dive into it. I'm going to try and draw on my Miro board with my fancy iPad pen so you can see what's going on. So my client is a business coach. We started working together we've been working together, for the last 2.5 years, I would say. He had an email list, but his emailing was sporadic. He's a busy guy. He would do quarterly launches, something like that. So I came in, I pitched him, we started working together, and we moved gradually into the flow that I'm going to explain to you now in terms of these weekly broadcasts and how we were able to enroll between 15 and 20 clients who are paying £3,000 each. So let's see, 15 to 20 new clients a month. Can you see that? Just about. I'll move myself down a little bit here. How's that? 15 to 20 new clients per month, and they are paying $3,000 each, and that is around, I think it's close to $5,000 dollars, right? We are only doing 3 broadcasts a week. He's a business coach, B2B. He's a family man. It's part of his values, family before business. So we're not emailing at the weekend, just 3 emails, normally Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 a.m. And that gets the job done. We can enroll between 15 and 20 clients per month without him having to get on any calls or anyone on his team. He doesn't have to hire setters or closers because basically I do the email closing for him. So this is the kind of the email closer model that we're using. And if you want to find out more about how this model works, I've got a full training on this channel, or you can go to emailclosers.co, opt into my email list, you get the training, and you get some free example emails as well from a $40,000 campaign, which you can swipe and deploy as you see fit. Okay, so email closer model. Let me preface this a little bit in that he already had a really good offer. It already sold really well. Okay, I'm not trying to lay claim to his success, but we did manage to dial in the email game pretty tight after we started working together, and we worked together on this. So here's what we did. Week 1, okay, and then let's do 2, 3, 4 as a rough schedule. He had an automated webinar, so let's put here Webby. So in the first week of the month, we would send broadcasts to get registrations for the automated webinar. Side note, this worked really well, and let me tell you why. Although the webinar was pre-recorded, okay, he would only run it once a week, so they'd have to register, and it would play once a week. Highly leveraged and a great strategy, to be honest. I don't see many people doing this anymore. It wasn't an on-demand webinar, it was an once a week webinar which was automated. He didn't lie and say it was live, but he just said it's playing once a week, okay? It's happening once a week. So that was automated, but then we would use every month live broadcast, real-time broadcasts to promote the automated webinar, which I think worked particularly well because we weren't using the same emails each time. We would talk about what's happening in the world, what's happening in the market from our prospects' perspective. And I would tie in certain things like, I think last summer when there was an election or the budget was happening or something like that, I'd make little references to that. Again, it's a B2B market, so we're talking about things that they are interested in. And we would get great sign-ups from the list every week. List size, by the way, was around 20k. And we would promote this webinar. It's happening we call it a workshop. It's happening every Thursday. most Thursdays. And then we would get a handful of sales each week from that. Again, no sales calls. They would watch the webinar, and then they could get the link to sign up at the end. It's an hour long, so they spend an hour together, build up that sort of know, like, trust factor. We get a handful of sales from that. Now, week 2, we would go into sort of these insight-based emails. Based, mate. Okay. It's going to make myself a little bit smaller. There you go. It's a little bit more insight-based emails. To be honest, every email I write, I try and make it give a key insight. Just a little nugget, just make them think a little bit differently about the problem that they want to get solved, the reason why they joined the email list in the first place. Just that little tiny aha moment. And they think, oh, maybe that's why I haven't been able to do X, Y, Z. But particularly in week 2. Insight-based, we use stories, analogies, metaphors, and I'm really trying to share the philosophy that my client has in terms of how he thinks about his market, how he thinks his business, what his principles are, in terms of the solution that he provides, and really trying to share his personality as well. He is a young dad, 2 kids, happy family man. He takes his kids to the football, he takes them to centre parks, and we would talk about things like this in these emails because we want to breed, everyone says, yeah, know, like, trust. That is fairly obvious one. And friendly. It's hard to write this one. Familiarity. Wow. Not sure you can read that. But friendly familiarity with these 3 emails in the second week. Because we really want to ramp up how much they know, trust. We would share stories from his program, share proof, evidence, social proof, that kind of thing. We talk about the problem that the market is going through and how his solution is different. We would talk about the price, not necessarily the price of his program, but the price that the market, his prospects, leads are paying by not getting this problem solved. And in that way we can kind of juxtaposition the cost of not getting the problem solved with the much smaller cost of joining his program. Okay, there's one more P. These are called the 5 Ps, which I learned from 5 Ps. And this is all stuff I learned from the great Travis Sago. He has a book called Make and Beg to Buy, which talks about these 5 Ps, but I missed one. Yes, the plan is actually one of the key points. When you're doing email marketing, or any kind of marketing really, you want to tell your market, the people you're trying to sell to, what your plan is to solve their problem. And you have to make it specific. You have to tell them what's going to get done, how it's a clearly different and desirable plan, than anything that they've tried before, because they would have tried things before and failed. They still don't have this problem solved, otherwise they wouldn't be reading your emails in the first place. So a lot of the time we would talk about the plan my client has for his clients and how it's different. So we use these 5 Ps in these insight-based emails that are going out in week 2. And most of the time we have a soft pitch in the PS. So we promoted the webinar in week 1, and then in week 2, insight-based emails, know, like, trust, thought leadership emails. It's incredible how many people we will get replying back just saying how much they love the emails and they love reading them and opening them every day. And that's the kind of effect you want to have. Because when people join your email list, they might be here. And if you're trying to get them here, we can use, let's call that a golf club, and we want to get this ball down here into the hole. These insight-based emails are going to keep tapping them down the fairway closer and closer to the hole, and then we can just tap them in, and we'll get to that part in a minute. And yeah, you want people to enjoy these emails. You don't want them to be a pitch fest, because people will just tune out. Okay, we're talking about coaching, consulting, training, education companies, we're writing these personality-based emails because some people are going to be on your list. There's probably only 5-10% who are going to be ready to buy right now. So what's the point in just pitching the whole list all the time? Yeah, you're going to get a few sales, but you're also going to push away those people who would be interested further down the line. I was listening to an interview the CEO of StoryBrand gave, Don Miller, I think his name is. And he was saying he looked in his CRM and he saw how, I think it was 80% of his customers had been on his list for a year before they bought anything. So that's a lot of people. And if you're just pitching now, you're really playing a short game, and you could burn through those leads you probably worked hard to get on your list in the first place, either through paid traffic or organic content. So we like to play the long game, all right? Yes, we want to get sales now, but we also want to gently nurture and pick these people down here using our insight-based emails to get them closer and closer to the whole. And then when you do that, there's always a conveyor belt of new clients raising their hand and saying, yes, I'm ready to join now, I'm in. It also works to retarget people who said they were keen, but then for whatever reason they dropped off the radar. They went cold. It can't be helped sometimes, it happens. It's just a timing thing. A lot of the time, the reason why people don't go ahead is not because of you, it's not because of your offer, it's not even because of the price, it's just because the timing isn't right. Something's going on in their life and it just doesn't match up, it doesn't align. And that's why you need to stay consistent with these emails, because when you keep showing up in the inbox, eventually when the stars align, so to speak, something happens in their personal life and they're like, wow, yeah, okay, now I need to do this. And if you're not there, then they'll go off and work with somebody else. All right, so that's week 2, insight-based emails. And then, in the PS, got a little bit sidetracked there. In the PS, it's a soft pitch, okay? And by the way, if you'd like to get this problem solved, doing XYZ plan without these things that you don't like, reply back to this email and I'll get you the details, okay? We're doing insight-based reply emails. That's key. Wow. My writing's terrible. We'll have to fix that. So that's week 2, insight-based reply emails. We're not asking them to book a call. That's key. This whole process, this whole email closer model is based on having conversations right there in the inbox rather than asking them to book a call and get on a discovery call or sales calls. Nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But I'm just sharing a alternative method for people who don't want to have to do sales calls. And then in week 3, so we've done the webinar, week 1, we've done insight-based reply emails using the 5 Ps of pre-selling from Travis Sager. Week 3, now we're getting a little bit more pitchy, okay? And we're going to use what we call pipeline filler emails. Pipeline filler emails, why? Because they're pretty short. We're asking people to raise their hand. They're designed to get the right people to raise their hand. They're people who have the specific problem and the specific attributes that we need them to have in order to be able to work with them and help them. The last thing we want to do is get people interested in the offer because it sounds really amazing, but they're broke and they have no money, or they don't have any time to do it, or whatever the reason could be for your offer, whether you're in health, wealth, relationships, skills, training, whatever. Okay? So these pipeline filler emails are very short. Sometimes we use the kind of Dean Jackson 9-word email or the 1-question email where it's, are you still interested in XYZ, the thing they want, the thing they signed up for on your email list in the first place. But normally we do slightly longer ones. So if I come down here, I can probably give you an example. And again, there's a video on this on my channel, or you can go to emailclosers.co and sign up and you get some of these examples as well. A good one is subject line, let's go RSVP. Okay? RSVP, it's an invitation. What's happening? Who's inviting me to something? Okay, that's the mindset we want to have here and the positioning we want to have. Let's do it from my perspective, okay? If I was going to email my list, I might say, "Hi, Naeem, I'm getting together with a group of coaching, training, and education business owners and showing them exactly how to get at least one new 2K to 20K client per week from their email list without sales calls. Would you like to join us? Sam." Or I might say, "Would you like to join us? I know you'd need more details, so reply back to this email with the word clients and I'll be in touch." Something very simple like that. So a couple of sentences, an invitation. And you can imagine when you've got a list of 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, maybe 20,000 prospects, you're going to get a lot of people replying back, which is great. Some of the emails are a little bit longer than that, go much more into the problem. So I might list out some of the symptoms that they've been suffering with because of this problem that they need solving. Problems can be a little bit vague sometimes. If you're talking about stress or overwhelm, you can't really see that. But if you're talking about, again, if it's a B2B offer, if you're talking about an empty inbox or empty DMs, direct messenger inbox, they can actually see that. They can see it's happening. It's an immediate, specific problem that they need to get solved. So we talk about those kind of things within the email. And then again, just a very soft pitch. Tell them what's happening. Tell them you're opening enrollment. If you're doing like cohorts, you can open and close the doors every month, which is recommended because you're creating that sort of scarcity and urgency to join. So we're doing 3 of these emails again in week 3 because we want to fill our pipeline basically. And then we have the leads replying back to us, okay? And I'll get into the sales process in a second. But then in week 4, I'm going to go down here now. Yeah, let's do that. In week 4, we are sending more sort of objection handling emails and social proof. So let's put that social proof. So client testimonials, basically screenshots, stories, and then any sort of objections or just questions that pop up. Because bear in mind, when we're doing this, you're getting hundreds of people reply back and we're having conversations in the inbox. So we know we can spot patterns of the questions that people are asking us and then feed that back into our marketing, which is really key. Not many people do this. And you can feed back their words, their questions, their specific pain points into your emails, and it's super powerful, super effective. But 3 emails that week. Sometimes we might drop in a 4th, and really ramp up the proof, the evidence we have, objections, talk about again the price, what it's costing them not to move forward, basically. And that is in week 4. And bear in mind as well, the emails in the last week, we're not really looking for new leads, okay? We are primarily aiming, we still ask people to reply back if they haven't yet, and often people do, and we get sales from that. But these emails are primarily targeted at the 200 or so leads we're getting in week 2 from those pipeline filler emails, okay? Because when they reply back, so let's go down here. This will be our broadcast email. Goes out to the entire list, 20,000. And then step 3 is that they reply back. Okay? They reply back to the email. We're now in a one-to-one conversation with them inside of Gmail. First step, all we do is to copy and paste template. It's 3 clicks in Gmail. They have these templated responses. We have 50 of them now, something like that. It's like a little template money library because we've developed these responses to all of their questions, objections. Pretty much. There's obviously some finessing sometimes, but we've got it like 80-90% covered. And these are proven emails responses now that will actually get them to enroll. So that's a key part of the process. But the first reply from our side is to qualify them. So we send 2 qualifying questions and wait for their reply. If they meet our qualifications, then we then send them an offer invitation. And again, I've got an entire video on this channel on how we write out these offers so you can close clients from between $2,000 and $20,000 without sales calls. So this offer invitation, it can be a Google Doc, an Evernote doc, a Notion doc. So you just drop the link and they can read it. And it can even be a video, like this one, where you walk them through. It'd have to be a bit more concise, a bit more tight. And then after that, a lot of people will come back and say, yep, I'm in. Again, it's a great offer. It's been dialed in over a couple of years. We've been doing this, I think, again, this whole process, 15 to 20 clients for 2 years straight, I think, once we got it kind of dialed in. So you can see how powerful it is. We send that offer invitation. Some people reply back with questions. Some will say, I'm in straight away. And then we've had a deadline where we'll follow up until the end of the month. And that's the enrollment over for that month. And you always get a bunch of people join on the last day, which is normal human behavior, okay? And that, yeah, is basically how we can sign 15 to 20 clients per month at £3,000 each. So again, some of these are on a payment plan, but it has very high completion rate. So after about 6 months, because there was a 6-month payment plan, and then we're getting, I don't know the exact numbers, but yeah, between 40 and 50,000, maybe even £60,000 per month from the email list, just with these 3 emails per week. No sales calls, no Zoom calls, no Teams meetings, no setters and closers, sales team to manage where you need daily sales huddles and you've got to motivate them. Again, nothing wrong with that. But if you're a smaller business owner and you'd like to have just more of a streamlined system like this where you can sign new clients without, again, having a sales team or having to put on live events, lots of webinars or workshops, in-person stuff, then this is a really good process that you can try out. And I think most businesses could sign at least one extra client like this, because even if you're already emailing every day, you're sending out banger after banger, and you've got an incredible copywriter on your team, you're booking calls, there's just some people who will just not book a call. They just want the info. They're players with money. They don't have time, okay? And they'd rather just reply back and have a quick email chat, get the info, get the price, and join up. And that happens all the time. So look, if you'd like this email closer model set up for your business, and you'd like my help to do that, so you can sign at least one new 2K to 20K client per week, just you can comment below EC, below this video, EC for email closers, or you can simply go to email, I'll put the link below as well, wow, that's terrible. Okay, emailclosers.co, opt into my email list, and I'll be in touch. All right, take care, goodbye.